Welcome, everyone. I'll call this March 11th, 2025 meeting of council to order at 6:01 p.m. This meeting will be held in a hybrid manner where members of council, staff, and the public can participate electronically. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be available on the township website. Notice is hereby provided that under the authority of the Municipal Act 2001 and in accordance with Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, that all information attained is considered part of the public record. All rules apply to the meeting as if everyone was attending in person, and if there is a problem with the technology impacting the proceedings of the meeting may be recessed. So at this time, I would ask anyone who can to rise for the national anthem. We acknowledge that we are being hosted on the ancestral lands of the Haudenosaunee, Mississauga, and Omama-Winnene people. We acknowledge and welcome the presence of all Indigenous people, including the Métis, Inuit, and other First Nations from across this vast land, who also make this place home. The lands we are on today are recognized in the Two-Row Wampum, Dish with One Spoon Treaty, Treaty 27, and the Crawford Purchase. Excuse me. So the first item up is a confirmation of the agenda, and we do have a revision to the recommendation, and I would just turn to the clerk for a moment.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to council, I would like to request an amendment to the agenda for tonight to include a closed agenda item relating to QP labor relation negotiations. And instead of adding it to section 6 under the agenda, I would ask that the item be added under after section 15. And the reason is because I would like the council to consider the items on the agenda as it was published.
Thank you. So the recommendation would be confirmed as amended then. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Prodrick. Any comments? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof this evening? Councillor Budrick.
It would be part of the consent agenda 14.1.
14.1. Okay, thank you. And the documents we presented. Perfect. Any other this evening? I am going to declare for 11.7 the MTO ferry subsidy petition, simply because of my employer. And I will forward the paperwork to the clerk, and the deputy will take over the chair during that item. Okay, if there's no others, at this time, I would just like to note that Councillor Willis did send her regrets for this evening, and she will not be participating in chambers or virtual this evening, just for the record. So closed session will be after 15, no presentations, no public meetings, open forum. Open forum is an opportunity for anyone to address council on a matter that's listed on the agenda, except for items that are subject to a statutory public meeting on the same agenda. We don't have anyone registered this evening, but I will follow our normal format and open it up in chambers and then open it up virtually to the virtual audience. That if someone wishes to speak on an item that is on the agenda this evening, they will have the opportunity, and it'll be for a 3-minute period. And council only receives information. There isn't a dialogue at that time in this session. So in chambers, is there anyone that wishes to speak this evening under the open forum for an item that's on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll go to the virtual audience. If there's anyone in the virtual audience that wishes to speak under open forum this evening, if you use the raised hand feature, you can be brought into the meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I don't see anyone in the virtual audience.
Okay, thank you. So that's no delegations. Items for consideration. Establishing a committee of revision. Welcome. Did you have anything additional to share this evening, or just here for questions? Okay. So this is a new committee for the township. We have been brought to us before. Just for clarification, are there any questions just for clarification before we entertain a motion, just because it's a newer item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. Time from council. Actually, I guess we need 3 people, sorry. Are there any volunteers that would like to put their name forward? Councillor Ennis, Councillor Budrick. Any other members? Yes. 3. Councillor Prodrick. So the motion would include Councillor Ennis, Councillor Budrick, and Councillor Prodrick. And that motion, do you mind reading the motion?
So I move that the report from the Clerk's Division dated March 11th, 2025, Committee of Revision be received, that council approve the establishment of a Committee of Revision in accordance with the terms of reference contained in Attachment 1 and in accordance with Ontario Regulation 586/06 for capital projects undertaken by the township as local improvements, that council appoint councillors Innes, Buderick, and Proderick to the committee for the 2022 to 2026 term of council, and that bylaw 2025-18, a bylaw to establish and appoint members to the Committee of Revision, be enacted.
Done?
Just to say thanks to the counselors for doing that.
Yes. Any other members? Again, thank you for stepping up and filling this appointment. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion has passed. The borrowing bylaw for the WJ Henderson project. Is there any additional information that you have at this time?
No additional information, Worship.
Thank you. We have the report and the recommendation. Would council like to put a motion on the floor, please? Councillor Prodrick.
I would move that the report from the Finance Department dated March 11th, 2025, reborrowing bylaw FCM Green Municipal Fund loan, WJ Henderson project be received, and that bylaw 2025-13 being a bylaw to approve the issuance of debt in the amount of $3,750,000 be enacted, which outlines the terms and conditions of repayment.
So moved. Do we have a seconder? Counselor Parks, any comments from the mover? Seconder, other members? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. And borrowing bylaw related to the WJ Henderson again. There, getting it open. There we go. Any additional information on this item?
No, just to clarify though, the first loan was in regards to a grant that we have. So there's an agreement with us with that, and that is long-term payable over 30 years. The second borrowing bylaw is an interim borrowing, which is good for 2 years. So it's sort of like a construction loan. It's a revolving term loan is what it's called from RBC. So it's to get us through cash flow for the 2 years while the WJ Henderson is under construction. So that's the difference between the two.
Thank you. Council, we have a recommendation before us. Would someone like to present a motion? Deputy Mayor?
I move that the report from the Finance Department dated March 11th, 2025, re-borrowing bylaw Royal Bank of Canada construction loan, WJ Henderson project be received, and the bylaw 2025-19 being a bylaw to approve issuance of debt for a revolving term loan up to an amount of $19,500,000 be enacted, which outlines the terms and conditions of repayment.
So moved. Do we have a seconder? Counselor Ennis, any comments from the mover? The seconder? Anyone else? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. Next is Fields of Loyalist, Creekford Development, a draft plan of subdivision, official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment. I'm going to scroll down and get that to open. There we go. Wow, every seat is filled. Welcome. Do you have some additional information at this time?
Yeah, I'll just briefly go over the application. So the proposal is an extension of the Odessa West neighborhood plan from 2011, essentially bordering on Babcock Mills at the west end of Odessa. From the planning perspective, the design is doesn't consume too much land. It is compact in its form and provides housing types that aren't readily available in Odessa. Appears to conform to the Planning Act, Section 5124 of the Planning Act, the Provincial Policy Statement 2024, the official plan of the township and the county. From a zoning perspective, really, we've seen these types of zoning requirements in other developments. The one abutting to it, very similar. As well as developments in Amherst-View. There's nothing too exciting from that perspective. Public comments, we really haven't received any except for that from that first public meeting. The consultant had made quite a few changes. We had a lot of feedback from council and the public at that point, but once those changes were made moving forward, we really didn't hear anything come from the public from that perspective. We did have a few peer reviews on traffic, noise, as well as environmental impact assessment that was done. The arborist for the applicant worked with our peer reviewer and met some requirements that the MECP had regarding species at risk. And you'll see some conditions in the draft plan conditions regarding that. The traffic consultant worked with our engineering department. Instituted some traffic calming, jut outs, roundabouts, etc. Those will be implemented as you see in the plan as well. Other than that, we're recommending approval. Conditions are laid out and we're free to answer any questions.
Thank you. Because this is a large one as well that we've looked at before, I'll just ask if there's any questions for clarification only before we entertain a motion. We can do comments after a motion is on the floor. Seeing none. Now this is a very lengthy motion, so would we be able to read 1 through 4 and then just include up to 72, or you've got it on the screen, even better? Always ahead of me. Thank you.
Yeah, I move to adopt recommendations 1 through 4, including the 72 conditions listed in recommendation number 4.
Welcome. Is there any additional information at this time?
No, sir, just here for questions.
Council, we have a recommendation. Would someone like to put a motion on the floor, please? Councillor Ennis.
Move that the report from the Engineering and Environmental Division dated March 11th, 2023, proposed termination of Lakeside Gardens water main flushing agreement be received. And 2, the council directs staff to provide written notice to 1311354 Ontario Incorporated and 1576480 Ontario Limited of the township's intention to terminate the agreement.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Boudreau. Any comments from the mover? Seconder, other members? Call the question. All in favor? Sorry, motion is passed. Isn't turning my head quite fast enough. Maintenance agreement for 97 Park Crescent. Any additional information on this item?
Nope, just here for questions.
Thank you. So again, we have a recommendation with a, or a report with a recommendation. Would somebody like to put a motion on the floor? Councillor Broderick.
Technical glitch here. Oh, thank you. I would move that the report from the Engineering and Environment Division dated March 11th, 2025, re-maintenance agreement for 97 Park Crescent be received, and that the mayor and the CAO be authorized to sign the maintenance agreement with final terms and conditions satisfactory to staff and the Township Legal Counsel.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Ennis. Comments from the mover?
No.
Seconder? Any others? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. I'll now turn the chair over to the deputy mayor and I will shut my mic off and not participate in this one.
So 11.7, 2024 MTO ferry subsidy petition. Turn to Ms. McFarland, if there's any further
Deputy Mayor.
comments, it's fairly straightforward. We do have a recommendation. Council Broderick.
I would recommend that the report from the Community and Customer Services Department, Public Transportation Division dated March 11th, 2025, 2024 MTO ferry subsidy petition be received and that council authorize the attached petition.
So moved. Is there a seconder? Counselor Ennis, any further comment? Call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Townend. So we are to 11.8, support for Canadian and Ontario government negotiations with the U.S. government on trade tariffs. Would someone like to put a motion on the floor? Do you have it? She's going to put it up for us again. We're spoiled.
And I'll move it, Your Worship.
You'll move it as presented once she scrolls through it. Thank you. So moved by the Deputy Mayor. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Budrick. Mover, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah, only this is coming from the East Ontario Wardens Caucus, who've been quite outspoken since the issue of tariffs, have emerged. I think, and I'm sure the mayor will have comments. I won't speak on his behalf as head of council, but I can speak as the warden of the county. I think the approach that all municipalities are taking in close partnership with our various advocacy associations like AMO, like Roma, like EOWC, is to try and work very closely with the provincial government in trying to leverage as much as we can leverage to support other orders of government in protecting our Canadian and indeed our Ontario economies. And I think all of us support that endeavor in principle.
Seconder? Other members? Councillor Broderick.
I don't want to get into trouble with the warden, but could we add Mark Carney, Prime Minister designate, on our list of people who get mail?
I think that would be appropriate.
Yes.
Technically, actually, good catch.
Yes. Yep. Very shortly, he will be the Prime Minister. It makes perfect sense. Thank you for catching that.
Yep.
Any other comments? I just echo what the deputy said. And it puts the municipalities in a little bit of a different spot because we do have to adhere to all the legislations and all the agreements that are still in place despite what's going on. So, but I believe this covers a lot of ground where we work with the province and the other levels of government to make sure that everything is set up so that we can work to the best for our residents and for the country. So with that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion has passed. There is no committee of the whole. Notices of motion. Are there any notices of motion this evening be presented? Seeing none. Are there any direct motions this evening to be presented? Seeing none. The next is the consent agenda, and Councillor Budrick declared on this one. Only has the one item, 14.1. Do we have a mover? Councillor Broderick.
I would move that all items in the consent agenda dated March 11th, 2025 be approved as presented and the necessary action be taken.
Sorry.
It's just related to resolution COW 2025-5, not the entirety of the item.
That the
The
declaration
pecuniary
was made
interest,
for.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So moved by
yeah.
Councillor Broderick, seconded by Councillor Ennis. Any comments from the mover? Seconder, other members? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Announcements. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Parks?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the rest of the items under 14.1. Because you just voted on resolution 2025-5 without Councillor Buderick. Now you need to vote on the rest of the matters.
Oh, okay, I thought 14.1 was all addressed, which brings in those two resolutions, correct? Yeah, are you, just to make sure, when you declared, you've declared 14.1? Okay, okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification. So yes, announcements. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Ennis? Oh, sorry, I already called Councillor Parks and then I'll go to Councillor Ennis. Sorry. Doesn't take much sometimes, does it?
That's okay. I just wanted to say or announce that the passing of Diane Chesborough. She was a longtime resident in the Village Bath. She was the first female registered nurse to hold the position of in the town or in the village in 1970. She was a longtime resident, donated a lot of time and efforts into the museums in the village, and I was sad to hear her passing.
Yes, very much. Councillor Ennis.
To offer condolences to the family of Beth Orr, her husband David, and kids John and Kevin. Beth was a longtime resident of Amhersview and longtime nurse at Kingston General, and she passed away last week at the age of 70.
Any other? Councillor Proderick.
Thank you. Congratulations out to one of our residents who's a Holy Cross student, Annie Neiman, who won a gold at OFSA in, I think it's under 90 kilogram female wrestling. And I have a note here addressed to council, so I just share it with everyone. On behalf of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 623, the members of the Legion wish to thank Wind Electric Inc., Kingston Solar, and the Grant Committee of Loyalist Township and Loyalist Council for supporting a grant of $20,000 to our Legion to upgrade our building inside and out. We've added all new LED lighting, a new stove, new dishwasher. The grant has helped to make our building for community services and events. It is open to the community to use both family and friends and organizations. And thank you, John Marshall, on behalf of the building campaign.
Thank you. Any other announcements this evening? If you want to do this award, I can, yeah. Either one of us can. Go ahead.
We can fight over it.
It's all yours.
Just extend our congratulations to Mr. Brzee on being re-elected as our member of provincial parliament for Hastings, Lennox, and Addington, and to say that we hope here in Loyalist to continue a constructive working relationship for the benefit of the community.
Thank you. Just to follow up on that, we're already been in discussions with his office, and we are setting up some meeting dates to be able to start our conversation even before he's sworn in. We figured we might as well strike while the iron's hot. Any other announcements? I will just make a quick announcement. The Amhersview Jets have been successful at making it into the playoffs, and of course, they're playing against the Napanee Raiders. So there's a good little rival going there. So we thought we'd have some fun with it and challenged the mayor of Napanee that whichever team is successful, the other mayor has to wear that jersey to a council meeting. So I'm glad to say that the Jets have already provided us with the jersey that Mayor Richardson may very well be wearing. And so we're all ready for it. They've played very well. They're up by 2 games. It's great hockey. We were at the last game. It was amazing hockey, very close. And I plan on attending again tomorrow evening as well to be able to support the team and also enjoy the game. So if there's no other announcements, I would take a motion to go into closed. And there's wording for that? Looking to the clerk, save me trying to come up with it. So it's before us, Deputy Mayor.
I move that council now move into closed session to consider labor relations or employee negotiations, verbal update on CUPE labor relation negotiations pursuant to section 239(2)D of the Municipal Act.
So moved, seconded by Counselor Ennis. All in favor? Motion is carried. We will go to the room Okay. So yeah, we'll come back into open session and we'll provide a rise and report to, that council received, information regarding the QP negotiation. And done everything else, so we're down to confirmatory bylaw. Do we have a mover? Deputy Mayor?
I move that bylaw 2025-20 to confirm the proceedings of the Council of Loyalist Township be enacted and passed, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign and seal.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Ennis. All in favor? Motion is carried. And a motion to adjourn. Councillor Budrick, Councillor Parks, all in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:08.